We are on point, man. We are on point.
Welcome back to the Crowd Chatter Podcast. I'm Mitch Jacob. That's Mitch. Didn't almost screw it up. We are here for NFL Week 3 picks after a pretty crazy Week 1 and Week 2. Here we are. We've got some teams that we thought were going to be decent that look absolutely awful, some teams that are surprises, and the Bills are probably the Super Bowl favorites. Let's move on. Let's start with the Thursday night game with two teams coming off losses. The Steelers lost against the Patriots, and the Browns absolutely folded against the New York Jets. This will be the second ever rendition of the Prime Video Thursday Night Football game. Cleveland is favored by 4.5 points. Who do you got in this one?
The Steelers, both of these teams haven't looked good. I mean, the Steelers are led by Mitch Trubisky, so that alone should tell you what they're like. And also for the Browns, they just lost to the Jets. And I mean, the Jets are better, but it's still the Jets. And I don't like picking either one of these teams because they both have looked absolutely terrible. But I guess I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a really good.
You go first.
It's gonna, it's gonna be a really good game in the worst possible sense because they both are so bad. But I'm gonna go with the Steelers, I guess here. The Browns' defense is solid, but they could not stop the Jets at the end of that game. And I mean, because the Jets scored two touchdowns in like 90 seconds, so that's pretty brutal. Um, so I'm gonna go with the Steelers in a close one. Not that I like the Steelers, but I give them a slight edge, I guess.
This is the NFL equivalent of watching Iowa versus Rutgers. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think Steelers. I think the Steelers have a better defense, and I think they have the more impressive win and the more impressive loss. So I think the Browns win is not impressive, and the Browns loss is very embarrassing. So I'll take the Steelers. Now we move on to another game of teams that are not great. We've got the Houston Texans on the road taking on the Chicago Bears. Bears are 2.5 point favorites. Over under is 40.5. Bears have a 54.3% chance to win. I'll take the Bears just because they're at home. I don't think either of these teams are great. So if Soldier Field was anything like it was the last time someone played on that field, I'll take the Bears.
Yeah, Chicago winning the first week in the slop in against the 49ers, and then got owned once again by Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, which has been happening for the past like decade or so. But Chicago, yeah, they're not a good team. I don't like their offense or defense, but Houston is probably worse yet. So give me the Bears in a close one.
You've got the Las Vegas Raiders on the road taking on the Tennessee Titans. The Raiders are 58% chance to win. The spread is 2. Over-under is 45.5. Two very disappointing teams for the first two games of the season for very different reasons. Mitch, who do you got in this one?
Tennessee has looked absolutely terrible, losing at home to the New York Giants. So yeah, that's not good. And I mean, it's still the Bills, but you got wiped out then by the Bills on Monday night on national television, 41-7. So that doesn't look good either. And then for the Raiders, their defense has just kind of given away two games in a row, but at least they've been close in both of their losses. Both of these teams have not looked good, but this Tennessee team has not proven anything to me so far. The Raiders have been close. Their offense is definitely looking good. But their defense is just struggling. I think it'll be a higher scoring affair here, but give me the Raiders in a close one.
I'll take the Raiders too. Unless Derrick Henry comes out and decides to actually play a football game, and Ryan Tannehill decides to not be Ryan Tannehill, which I find this latter very unlikely. And now, man, you go 0-2 in embarrassing fashion. Obviously, no, you're not 0-2. You're 1-1. You tie with the Texans, and then you get blanked in
Jacksonville.
I know they've lost 8 straight in Jacksonville now, but you got blanked by the Jaguars. And you know what they get? You know what they get to bounce back? They get to welcome the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City is a 57.3% chance to win. They are 6.5-point favorites in the spread. Over under is 49.5. Kansas will absolutely wipe the floor with the goal. Give me the Chiefs pretty easily in that one.
Yeah, the some of the biggest disappointments right here with the Raiders, Titans, and Colts all looking so pathetic. Probably the biggest disappointments to start the year so far. Indy, like you said, I mean, they got smacked by the Jaguars. I know how much they've struggled in Jacksonville for however long now, but to get shut out, that's inexcusable. I don't think the Chiefs will necessarily entirely blow out Indy, but I still think the Chiefs are going to win this one pretty comfortably.
Minimum, I think.
Yeah.
And now we move on to honestly what I think is the game of the week. There's some good games on, but I think this is going to be very fun. You've got the Buffalo Bills on the road taking on the Miami Dolphins. Bills are 59.6% chance to win. The spread is 5.5. I think this is the week where we truly find out what Miami is. I think this is one of Buffalo's best chances to lose on their schedule. Do I think they lose? Probably not, because I think the Buffalo Bills, I don't think anybody in the world is going to be able to stop Josh Allen except maybe Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is the only person who's been able to stop Josh Allen. And by that Josh Allen, I mean the Jaguars Josh Allen. Not himself. That was a fun game last year. But I think the Dolphins will be fun. I think this will be a very high-scoring game. But I do think the Bills will win pretty decently in the end. But don't count out the Dolphins. I think they can very easily win. Not like the Bills.
Yeah, this is an interesting game because Miami just came off that very impressive win, comeback win on the road in Baltimore. They were down in that game 35-14, and they won it 42-38. Tua played the best game probably of his career. He quieted a lot of people who have been really, saying that he's a terrible QB and he's not any good. So big game there for Tua and the Miami Dolphins. Now they have yet another huge game, but this one back at home. I think they will make this closer with the Bills, but the Bills just my goodness, you blow out the Rams by 20. You manhandle the Rams 31-10, and then
in LA.
in LA. Well, it's LA. No one really shows up for Rams games, but it's still LA. And then they head back home on Monday night. The Bills Mafia against Tennessee and just wipe the floor with them. This Bills team looks absolutely dominant. I give the Bills probably at least a 10-point win in this one in Miami. It's just unbelievable so far. I'm gonna be in the Florida area. I'm gonna be in Orlando. It's too far away from Miami, but hey, maybe I'll go watch Josh Allen smack the Dolphins.
You'll see a lot of touchdowns in that game.
Yes.
And now we've got the Detroit Lions going on the road to US Bank Stadium to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, Lions with a very impressive win last week against, it was the Commanders, but they still won a game and looked pretty good in it. And the Vikings getting beat down by the Eagles. I don't think that matters. I think the Vikings are a better team. I am very interested. I am very excited for when we have a quarterback not named Jared Goff throwing to Amon-Ra St. Brown because he looks amazing. And DeAndre Swift has been really, really nice. He's played really, really well. Love him for my fantasy team. I had to get DeAndre Swift. I knew he was going to be one of my top picks. But I will still take the Vikings to win this one. I think they're the better team. So.
Yeah, Minnesota did not look good against the Philly Eagles. They could not move the ball offensively, of which they were doing all the game pretty much against the Packers, which is why I took the Vikings in that one. But this Lions team, the Lions look really good. The Lions have definitely shown that their offense is very impressive, and I think this is going to be a higher scoring affair, like all their games have been this year. But I think the Vikings will outscore them. They don't have the secondary to stop Justin Jefferson. Adam Thielen. They're not going to be able to, I think, contain either one of those guys. Dalvin Cook's going to have a game as well. I think the Vikings, like I said, they outscore the Lions in this one, winning at US Bank.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Anyway, we go on to the New England Patriots at home taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 57% chance to win. 3-point favorites are the Ravens in the spread. The over-under is 43. Mitch, start us off.
This will be another fun one. But the Patriots have a solid team. The Ravens coming off a big disappointment last week, giving up a 21-point lead to the Miami Dolphins back at home. Now they head on the road to play the Patriots. I think this will be a very close game, but give me the Ravens to just squeak away out of Gillette Stadium in New England, gain a very close win against Bill Belichick and Mac Jones.
Their team, so I'll take them in that one. And now we got the Bengals on the road taking on the Jets. The Bengals have had a very, very poor start to the season. I mean, it was one thing to lose their first game, like, I get it, Super Bowl hangover, but then you lose to Cooper Rush. Their offensive line has looked absolutely
terrible.
Awful. Poor Joe Burrow is not going to make it to week 6 at this rate. Bengals are a 77.6% chance to win. Luckily, they're playing the New York Jets. They are 4.5-point favorites, 45 over/under. If the Bengals lose to the Jets, I will lose all hope for them. I will take the Bengals in this one because they're the better team. But, man, I'd be shocked if they lose. But if they do, that's not good. So, they'll give me the Bengals in this one. They're the better team.
Yeah, with the way that the Cincinnati Bengal offensive line has looked so far, Joe Burrow's on pace to get sacked 100 times this year. So unless something changes with the Cincy offensive line, they're going to have some serious problems, and there's no way Joe Burrow is going to last getting sacked 100 times. So that offensive line has to improve, period. Because obviously the Bengals spent their entire offseason trying to fix the offensive line. And seeing that it just hasn't worked at all whatsoever, that is a huge problem if you are a Bengals fan. And just anyone from the Bengals team. This New York Jet team isn't necessarily the best pass rush, which is why I give the Bengals the edge here. I don't think the Jets only had 3 sacks in 2 games, which will probably mean they have 3 sacks against the Bengals. But I think this will be a close one because of how bad the offensive line has been. Unless it improves, I think the Bengals are going to struggle all year. So give me the Bengals in a close one.
And now you've got the Philadelphia Eagles on the road against the Washington Commanders. Eagles are a 60.5% chance to win. They're 6.5 points in the spread. Over/under is 40. Yeah, give me the Eagles. Commanders look really bad. Like, really bad. I mean, what? A rookie Aiden Hutchinson sacked Carson Wentz, 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
Like, I love Aiden Hutchinson. He's a great guy. He's a great player. Like, don't get me wrong. He's going to be a great defensive end. If you let a rookie sack your quarterback 4 times or 3 times, that's not good. Yeah, give me the Eagles.
Yeah, this Washington team is terrible. They're stuck playing in the dump of a field, FedEx Field. This Eagles team looks absolutely unbelievably good with between their running game of Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts, and then the passing game of A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, and also Dallas Goedert. But this is an Eagles team that is looking really sharp. This Washington team looks terrible, and they have so many problems. So give me the Eagles to blow out the Commanders at FedEx Field.
I was looking at that really confused. There's a 6% chance for a tie. That's weird. Okay, I didn't know FPI had ties in NFL accounted for it. Anyway, we've got the New Orleans Saints on the road taking on the Carolina Panthers. Saints are a 49.9% chance to win, whereas the Panthers are a 49.5% chance to win. And then there's a 6% chance of a tie, or 0.6% chance of a tie. Saints are favored by 3 points. The over-under is 40. There is probably going to be, no scoring in this game. Mitch, who do you have in this one?
This will be an interesting one. It is in Carolina. These two Saints are coming off finally. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers finally actually beat New Orleans. They actually beat the Saints in the regular season. Congratulations, Tampa. Congratulations, Tom Brady. But this Saints team, I think, is the better team. Carolina's team has not looked pretty. Lost at home against the Browns in a close one, and then lost on the road against the Giants. I like this Saints team more. Alvin Kamara is hurt, though. He did not play in the last game from New Orleans, so we'll have to see if Kamara plays in this game. If he doesn't, I think the Panthers win it. But just for the sake of saying Kamara is in this game and the Saints are mostly healthy, give me New Orleans to win.
And now we move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You haven't made your pick.
Oh yeah. This was the game I didn't want to pick.
You're not gonna get out that easily. Come on now.
I think the Saints they did lose at home to the Browns. They lost to the Jets. So my transitive property. Give me the Saints, because the Panthers lost to the team that lost at home that lost to the Jets. So, anyway, we move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars and MVP favorite Trevor Lawrence.
Oh.
And their stout defense going on the road to Los Angeles to play on the Chargers. Chargers are a 77% chance to win. The spread is 7 in favor of the Chargers. The over-under is 48. Give me the Chargers. I think the Chargers are a better team than the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think the Jaguars are that good. I think the Colts are just worse. Very impressive win. Very impressive win. Blanking out Indy. They did lose to the Commanders, though. So, yeah, give me the Chargers. Chargers will win this one pretty easily. And please, for the love of everything, I need Austin Eckler to do something. I need him to do something. Please, score a touchdown. Do anything. You're killing me.
Well, the biggest issue for the Chargers in this one is the fact that, of course, Justin Herbert is currently hurt. He has a rib cartilage injury. We'll see if he plays in this one. But even with a hurt Justin Herbert, we saw what he did against the Chiefs. I think the Chargers win this one pretty handily against the Jaguars.
I doctor working on Justin doctor that punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung, so that's not good.
Oh yeah.
Why is that doctor still there? Anyway, we've got the Los Angeles Rams going on the road to take on the Cardinals. Cardinals with a very impressive comeback win last week. I was shocked. I didn't think they had it in them. And when I saw them down 17-0, I'm like, oh, gosh. But you know what? They came back. I don't know if that's the Raiders choking or the Cardinals playing well. Either way, Rams are a 53% chance to win. Rams are 3.5-point favorites. Over-under is 49. After watching last week, I think anything can happen. But to be fair, the Cardinals are missing... it's questionable, so they're not for sure missing. But they have James Conner, Andy Isabella, and Rondale Moore all on the questionable list. I don't think this defense can stop the Rams. So I will take the Rams in a close one. But I think after last week, I can see this game going either way, especially with how the Rams played against the Falcons. But I think the Rams are a better team.
The Rams have not looked sharp. The Cardinals looked honestly pretty good in that once they finally got going in that comeback win against the Raiders last week. And honestly, I'm not impressed by the Rams. They got throttled by the Bills and nearly gave a game away to the Atlanta Falcons, who are infamous for giving away games. So give me the Cardinals in an upset. Kyler Murray, obviously he looked like a problem child at the beginning of the season when they had to put in film study in his contract, and then later took it out. But he's honestly, he's looked better. He looked decent against the Raiders. The Rams' offensive line has been trashed, and Matt Stafford looks terrible so far. So this is a home game for Arizona, and this is an easier team, I'd say, to play than it was the Chiefs in trying to stop that offense. So I'll give Arizona the edge here in what will be a surprising upset.
Well, you're lucky because it's not double XP weekend in Call of Duty Vanguard, so you're good. You're good. It's not double XP weekend. They might actually do something. Also, I saw a comment on like the when he ran 85 yards total on that 2-point conversion. Someone captioned it as Kyler Murray looks like a kid running away from his parents after he stole his phone. After he stole their phone. I can't unsee it now. Credit to the Arizona offensive line for keeping him protected for that long on that 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Now we've got we've got the Battle of the Birds, where in 2016 this game would be really fun. Now not so much. Got the Atlanta Falcons on the road against the Seattle Seahawks. Atlanta's a 51.1% chance to win this game. Seattle's a 2-point favorite. Over-under is 42. Two teams notably known for choking in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. One for throwing it on the 2-yard line when they had Marshawn Lynch, and one for blowing a 28-3 lead.
Don't remind me.
Did not run it with Marshawn Lynch. Anyway, this is gonna be a decently fun game. Never did I think in the year of 2022 we would have a quarterback battle of Marcus Mariota versus Geno Smith. Give me the Seahawks. They're at home. It'll be loud. It'll be crazy. Geno Smith, I think, is a slightly better quarterback than Marcus Mariota. I think, yeah. Give me the Seahawks in a close one, just because they're at home and it's always loud in Seattle.
Yeah. This is gonna be a 50-50. I wanna pick Seattle, but their defense is not good, and I love Atlanta's offense. That offense, you got Kyle Pitts, of which Seattle is not stopping. You also got Drake London, of which they're also not stopping. I think this is going to be a close one. Geno Smith can't even throw it like 5 yards down the field, but even with that, I think we'll still beat the Falcons. I'll give Seattle a close win. I'll give the Seahawks a close win at home. I am not confident in that, but I'll give them a close win at home. As Calvin says, you can't pick against your favorite team.
It's true. You've got the Green Bay Packers on the road taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a game of who are they gonna throw to? Alan Lazard, I think, is probably the best wide receiver in this game because Chris Godwin is injured, Julio Jones is injured, and unless the appeal for the 1-game suspension works, Mike Evans isn't going to be playing either because he's suspended for 1 game.
Well, I think as long as the appeal is unless they actually review the appeal, I think he does. If they don't review the appeal before that game happens, I think he still gets to play because it's currently being appealed by him. He just will serve it once they make a decision about the appeal.
Yeah, due to suspension, I don't know if he is. I don't know if he will be not for game time. Tampa Bay's 59% chance to win. The spread is 2. Over-under is 41. Neither of these two teams have really impressed me thus far.
His appeal is being heard today, so it won't matter.
Okay. I have not been impressed by either of these two teams. It is in Raymond James Stadium with Alan Lazard back. Oh, man. I guess I'll favor Tom Brady. I'm not very confident in it, though, just because, I don't know. From what I've seen of him, it looks like his age is starting to get to him, finally. But they started slow last year. And Tampa Bay's had an edge against Green Bay. So I'll take the Bucs, but not super confident.
This Green Bay team has really looked pathetic, and I put that in the wrong one. Well, this Green Bay team has honestly looked pathetic, and Tampa Bay, obviously a lot of injuries. Mike Evans out, Chris Godwin might be out, Julio Jones might be out. So the receiving core is obviously going to be an issue for Tampa. But this Green Bay team is, their defense was supposed to be really good. It's looked pathetic. They were supposed to be. People thought, no, they might be fine without Devontae Adams. They haven't. So I'm not high on Green Bay. I still think Tampa's gonna blow them out. The Green Bay's defense does not look good. It got thrashed by the Vikings, and it got honestly not. It didn't do well against the Bears either. There should have been a touchdown. They overturned it for no reason and screwed the Bears. If you remember that play where
I
he
wasn't watching that game.
Oh well, they ran it into the end zone. They got like right at the end zone, and there was and on replay you can see the ball was sitting right on top of the goal line, and for some reason they didn't overturn it. So I don't know what they were doing there, but that's the Green Bay favor there, I guess. But I'm not high on the Packers. They don't look good. Tampa's got injuries, but I still think they'll win.
Yeah, and now we move on to another one that's very interesting. The 49ers on the road taking on the Denver Broncos. Both teams have not looked amazing this season, though Jimmy Garoppolo came out and played pretty well. Granted, it was against the Seahawks, who are not that great, but Trey Lance obviously, unfortunately, out for the season with a leg injury.
I think more Niners fans are happy about that than sad.
And after the start of the season, it's gone from Broncos country, let's ride, to Broncos country, please don't cry. It's been miserable going for the poor Denver Broncos. Though they are in Mile High City, so I think they will narrowly edge this game out. But I am not very confident in picking either of these teams. San Francisco's favored by 1.5 points. Denver has a 50% chance to win. 45 is the over-under. But I think Broncos narrowly edge this one out. But I'm not very confident in it.
Yeah, this Niners team. I mean, obviously they had a tough game against the Bears as they were playing in essentially what was a slop in a swamp. I mean, they played in the swamp. That's essentially what that game was. They weren't really, and they also had to pretty much play in another swamp, and they played at home against the Seahawks. It was raining in that game too. Maybe they'll actually stay dry for this game for San Francisco. I don't care. I'd love to see them lose. But this Niners team, I hate San Francisco. But this Niners team, I think this is a good San Fran team. Denver has looked terrible. If San Fran, who knows? In Denver, I think they'll actually get decent weather finally. So I think this will be a decent game, but still give me San Francisco to win this one. Denver has really struggled. Wilson has, like you said, not looked good, and it's been a disappointment so far for the Broncos. So I'll give the Niners a win on the road.
I thought this was Sunday Night Football for a second. I was like, there's no way this is Sunday Night Football. Oh, man. ESPN, you are pulling out all the stops for your Monday Night Football games. You had 2 blowout games this weekend, and the game you picked this week is the Giants versus the Cowboys.
This is going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good, like you said I forget which game you said it for in college football, this is going to be a great game for all the wrong reasons.
Yep.
Bad teams. Bad teams. Giants are favored by 55.6%, 2.5 points spread, 39.5 point favorites. So 39.5 points is the over/under. I'll take the Giants in this one because they're at home. Dallas's quarterback is Cooper Rush, who sure played decently last week, but I still don't know about the Bengals right now. I think Saquon Barkley's been playing pretty good. Daniel Jones hasn't been awful. He's been not good, but he hasn't been awful. He has more touchdowns than interceptions. Give me the Giants to win like 14-13 or something. I don't know. Not many points.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one, like you said, for probably all the wrong reasons. There's going to be a lot of turnovers. There's going to be a lot of errors. There's going to be a comedy of errors in this one. I'm going to have Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call, which I still can't get used to on ESPN. I can't get used to hearing those two talking and then hearing the ESPN theme. It doesn't sound right. But I'm going with the Cowboys. I do think the Giants have a good chance in this one, but I'm only picking the Cowboys because of one reason: it's Micah Parsons. Guy is an absolute is an absolute offensive wrecking machine on the defensive end. He is a disruptor, and he is a one man defense for Dallas. Very good defender, very good linebacker. Like you said, probably not a lot of points in this one, but I'll give Dallas a close win.
I just opened up ESPN just on our closing thing. Through 2 weeks, the Colts have only scored 20 points, which is the fewest in the NFL. There have been 5 quarters this season where a team has scored more than 21 points. There have been 5 different instances where a team has scored more points in one single quarter than the Colts have all season. And remember, they've opened up against the Texans and the Jaguars.
Not good.
The Dolphins had 28 points in the fourth quarter this past week. It's 8 more points than the Colts have all season. Anyway, that's it for the Crowd Chatter podcast. That's Mitch. I'm Jacob. Enjoy week 3, and we'll sign off. See you later.